Okay, first and foremost, I'd like to say all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, and double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutation, you Akim out there that's pushing this road in truth and in sincerity. We're in the year of 2019, the year of Karagma, you know? Whereas Esau, the so-called white man, is going to institute that Alpha D microchip, you know? He's going to make it mandatory. He's setting the stage because the priest, Yaza'an, put out a video with the subway system. Now they got a car reader, now they got a phone reader. So it's like an app they're going to have, the MTA app they're going to have, you know, paving the way for the Alpha D microchip. But in other news, we have all hell breaking loose with the four corners of the earth, man. In Nebraska, we have floods, you know, which is going to mess up the farming industry. Cattle, which is beef, it was like they had like they had to kill off almost 1 million cattle. Why? Because of it was infected with some kind of disease. I forget the disease, but that's going to make beef rise, man. And the farming industry has been flooded out. You know, look what's going on in Nebraska. But these issues are not being brought forth on the news, man. Especially what's going on in Venezuela. Now we have Russian troops over there, Chinese troops over there, Iranian troops protecting Maduro, man, and keeping them in power. So now what the American government is going to do. Also, Donald Trump signed a bill that ensures them Israelis, them gutter rats, them Khazars, that they seize the Golden Heights, man, and that ruffled a lot of feathers. So we're approaching some times where it's going to be real heavy, man. We're approaching some times where Esau is going to about to show his horns. See, he's losing that hegemony that he had on the four corners of the earth. These nations are not listening to Esau no more. These nations do not fear Esau, the so-called white man. And when I mean Esau, I'm talking about the American counterparts of Esau. Because you got Russian Edomites that's come up against the American Edomites, man. You're going to have British Edomites that come up against the American Edomites. You're going to have German Edomites that come up against the American Edomites, and French Edomites, so forth and so on. Because the American allies are going to come up against America. The dreadful day of the Lord is fastly approaching. And before the dreadful day of the Lord comes, which is thermonuclear destruction, we're going to have all kind of hell breaking loose. We're going to have famine. We're going to have martial law. We're going to have race riots. We're going to have pestilence running rampant. Measles outbreaks. You see what's going on? E. coli, Ebola. You see what's going on? You see what I'm saying? So slowly but surely, Esau, the so-called white man, the red Hebrew Edomite, is getting snatched out of his power, man. His power seat. He's no longer going to be the ruler of the earth, man. He's going to be a peasant of the earth, man. Abaratazayu Akim out there will be edified. I have a few scriptures, you know, getting into the dreadful day of the Lord that's coming upon America, that's coming upon the inhabitants of America, certain parts of Russia, certain parts of China. Any nation that been off the bow, they're going to taste of them nuclear missiles. I'm saying most notably called intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs, hypersonic and supersonic missiles. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 14. The great day of the Lord Yahweh is near. It is near and hasten greatly. You see what's going on? The great day of the Lord is approaching, man. And it's hastening greatly, man. Meaning it's fastly approaching. We see what's going on in Venezuela. We see what's going on in the Middle East with Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan. We see what's going on over in Ukraine. You see the American government, the American counterparts of Esau, the American Edomites, have their nose in everything on the four corners of the earth, man. They bring a coup d'etats over in Venezuela, over in Ukraine, trying to put up puppet rulers to support the American dollar, man. Because the American dollar is losing its power, man. You see what I'm saying? We're at the end of Esau's rulership. We're at the end of the age of Esau. So that great day of the Lord, which is thermonuclear destruction, is fastly approaching, man. It says, I'm gonna read it again from the top. Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14. The great day of the Lord Yahweh is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry bitterly. The mighty man there shall cry bitterly. And who's the mighty man? The mighty men of Esau. And the voice of the Lord is the prophets of the Lord. We out there in the highways and the byways pushing the word of the Most High. Telling the downfall, telling you that Esau, the so-called white man, is losing his grip, his hegemony. He's about to be snatched out of his power seat. We're at the end of the age of Esau. Each nation have a specific time where they're going to rule, and when their time comes, they cannot overstep them boundaries that the Most High set for them, man. So they're going to be snatched out of their rulership, just like the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, the Romans. Even during the time of the Dark Ages, man, with Jake ruled, man, for 1,000 years, they couldn't overstep the bounds of their rulership, and they got snatched out of their rulership. Hence, we're in the time of the Renaissance, where Esau, the so-called white man, is ruling. But now, guess what? We're at the end of Esau's rulership, and Jake is about to take the rulership again, man. You see what I'm saying? Pursuant to 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter, the 7th verse, man. Jacob is the end. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is that which followeth. So that day of the Lord, the dreadful day of the Lord, is coming greatly. It's hastening. It's coming. You see what's going on in Venezuela. You see what's going on in France. You see what's going on over in Brexit, over in Great Britain with the Brexit situation. You got uproars of the people throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Uproars. You got earthquakes. You got floods. You got famine. You got pestilence. All the signs that we should be looking for, measuring the times. 2nd Esdras 9 and 1 on down, measuring down the times. Matthew the 24th chapter, the 5th verse on down. It's being made known. It's being made manifest, man. See, these days, so the dreadful day of the Lord is approaching, man, vastly, man. It says, verse 15, Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 15. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation. Because when them intercontinental ballistic missiles hit, it's going to be a desolate wilderness. It's going to take 1 hour to destroy America. You understand me? Are you comprehend what I'm saying? 1 hour to destroy the inhabitants of the land of America, man. You see what I'm saying? It says, that day is a day of wrath. The wrath of who? Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai. Because at the very same time the ICBM nuclear missiles is hitting, Yahweh Shai is going to crack them skies, man, with the holy angels, man, bringing death, destruction, and deliverance with that concentrated fire. So Esau, the so-called white man, is not going to escape his judgment. Judgment is coming to the house of Esau. Judgment is coming to the 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans that have joined yourselves unto the house of Esau, man. Judgment and destruction is coming to the rest of the nations, man, that's in the land of America. America's going to be totally destroyed, man. It's going to be a desolate wilderness. And that's the wrath of the Most High. Thermonuclear destruction. It says, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Now them clouds is representing them chariots, man. Also is representing the nuclear, that mushroom cloud that's going to be produced by the nuclear destruction. You understand what I'm saying? So that's twofold. That mushroom cloud and also chariots, man. That's considered clouds. That's going to bring death, destruction, and deliverance. It says, I'm gonna read it again. It says, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, man. That's what's gonna be brought forth after them nuclear missiles hit, man. It's gonna block out the sun. It's gonna turn day into darkness, man. Also, them thick clouds is representing them chariots, man. Because at the very same time, Esau's kingdom is gonna be being destroyed. Yahweh Shai and the holy angels are going to bust them clouds, and they're going to bring forth destruction as well, man, and deliverance. The 3 Ds: death, destruction, and deliverance. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 2. It says, a day of darkness. It says, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Because what's going to happen is, I'm going to read it from the top again, a day of darkness. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 2, a day of darkness and of thickness. It's like a day of darkness and of gloominess. What's going to bring darkness and gloominess? Them ICBM nuclear missiles. That's going to be shot off from what? From Russia, which is over in the eastern part of the world, over to the western hemisphere, to destroy the land of America, man. That's going to be the day of darkness and gloominess. Because like I said, them nuclear missiles going to form a mushroom cloud that's going to turn light to darkness real quick. You understand what I'm saying? Are you comprehending me? It says, a day of, this is back in Joel chapter 2, verse 2, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. That great people is actually talking about nuclear missiles, man. It's not talking about people. That's a metaphor. The nuclear missile that's going to be launched from Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, Pakistan, India, even Great Britain, France, and Germany, the United States allies, is going to shoot missiles off on America. See what I'm saying? That's going to bring forth that thick darkness and that gloominess, man. It says, verse 3, a fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burneth. Hey, because when you see a nuclear missile, it says, a fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burneth. Because when you see a nuclear missile, you see that fire that's pushing it, that's propelling it, man. You know? But it's also talking about, it says, a fire devoured before them, a flame burneth. It says, it's like it. Joel, let me slow down. Joel chapter 2, verse 3. A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Because once the missiles hit, you see, before the missiles hit, you got certain parts of America that's beautiful, man. Beautiful greenery, grass is beautiful, flowers, trees, you know, great vegetation. Look at Wyoming, Nebraska, Maine, great greenery, beautiful landscapes. You see what I'm saying? That's before the nuclear missiles hit. But behind, it's going to leave a desolate wilderness. Because once the nuclear missiles hit, it's going to leave a desolate wilderness. Nothing is going to escape the missiles, man. This land is going to be from a beautiful landscape with great greenery to a total desert, ashes, within an hour, within the limit of 1 hour. You understand what I'm saying? It says back in Joel chapter 2, verse 3, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. Nothing's going to escape them nuclear missiles. They are called ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. That's going to be shot off from one end of the earth, from Russia and China, which is on the eastern part of the earth, to the western part of the earth, man. And missiles going to be shot off from the western part of the earth to the east, man. And that's why this earth is going to rock to and fro like a drunkard, man. You see what I'm saying? The missiles are going to break this earth, man. Certain parts of this earth is going to be destroyed. Certain parts of Russia, China, Pakistan, India, North Korea, Iran, Ethiopia, Libya. All nations that bend up the bow, man. And that bow is representing nuclear silos, and within them silos is arrows, man, representing ICBM nuclear missiles that's going to be shot off, man. That's going to totally destroy this land. And not only the land of America, but where them gutter rats dwell, in the land of Israel, where they call themselves Israelis, and certain parts of the earth, man, it's going to be totally destroyed. Nothing is going to escape them nuclear missiles. Why? Because they are laser guided. Also, the spirit of Yahweh, while Yahweh shot's going to be upon them missiles, they hit their designated target, man. Nothing is going to escape. What they are predestined to hit, they're going to destroy, man. So this is Isaiah the 24th chapter, the 19th verse. Did I finish all that in yeah. Okay. It says this is Isaiah chapter 24, verse 19. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. And what's going to break the earth down and make the earth clean dissolve and move it exceedingly? ICBM nuclear missiles that's going to be shot off from these different countries. That assembly of great nations that's spoken about in Isaiah the 50th chapter, the 9th verse, which the Most High is going to raise up against to come up against America and Israel and his allies. First and foremost, like I mentioned, Russia, China, Pakistan, India, Iran, North Korea, Ethiopia, Libya, even his own allies such as Great Britain, France, Germany. Missiles are going to be shot off from the east to the west, to the west to the east, and it's going to rock the earth, man. And that's how the earth is going to be broken down exceedingly, man. It says back in Isaiah the 24th chapter, the 19th verse, the earth is utterly broken. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. And what's going to make the earth rock to and fro like a drunkard, man? Them nuclear missiles, man. You see what I'm saying? That's going to be shot off from different regions, man. You see what I'm saying? It says, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. The earth shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Verse 21. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. Who's the host of the high ones? The international bankers. Starting with the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, the Vanderbilts. Those are the hosts of the high ones that are on high that secretly run this earth, man. They are the kings of the earth. But they set up their puppet rulers, such as Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, you know, the president or the chancellor or the Prime Minister of Great Britain, France, Germany, they're all puppets of the Rothschilds, man, of the international bankers. Those are the hosts of the high ones and they rulers. It says, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners. This is after the thermonuclear destruction. This is after, you know, when the elect of Israel is beamed up in them chariots and they come back down to take control of the earth. To put Esau, to slap Esau ass in chains and put him in slavery. It says, and it shall come to, it says, and it shall be, it says, and they shall be gathered, like this is Isaiah 24 and 22. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in a pit. And that pit is talking about an actual pit that where Esau, Edom, the red Hebrew Edomite, that's going to have chains slapped on his ankles, his neck, and his wrists, and he's going to be tossed head first in a jail, which is a pit, a hole. It says, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in a pit, and shall be shut up in a prison, and after many days they shall be visited. After many days, after we slap chains on their red asses, the first fruits of slaves are going to come from the international bankers, man. And we're going to visit them. We're going to snatch them out of them pits that we tossed them in. And their first job job assignment is to bury the dead, pursuant to Ezekiel the 38th and the 39th chapter. Their first job assignment is going to be to bury the dead. So they're going to be first fruits of slaves. The international bankers. It says, and after many days they shall be visited, man. All the wisdom, all the knowledge of Esau is going to go down with Esau, the so-called white man. The international bankers, they're going to be the first fruits of slaves. I got one more scripture before I close it out. One more scripture before I close it out. This is Obadiah chapter 1 verse 18. It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. I'm going to read it again. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau, it says, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. And why it's going to be not any more of the house of Esau remaining? Because they're going to be totally destroyed. After 1,000 years of slavery, they're going to be gathered up in the biggest bonfire. And the biggest bonfire is going to be made, and Esau is going to be burnt up in that bonfire, man. After 1,000 years of slavery, after 1,000 years of getting your back beat, getting a foot in your ass, serving hardcore slavery under the Israelites, you're going to be eviscerated. You're going to be destroyed. And that's the end of Esau. And that's the day of the Lord, man. When the Lord come back to take Esau out of his rulership, and those that's following in the footsteps of Esau, that's joined unto him, you're going to be destroyed right along with that red devil, with that red bastard, man. And with that, I hope you Aki was edified. I'm going to give all praises once again to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Bakak Wadash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutation you Akim out there that's pushing this road of truth and sincerity. Shalom.